You've become world famous for quite a number of sharp statements, and some people have even gone as far as to say that they're politically incorrect. Why did you choose this style of conducting politics?
Well, I never. There was not an ambition. I never desired to be an international figure. I just have wanted to be just a mayor here, but fate somehow changed the course of my life. Now, foreign policy. Fundamentally, the foreign policy of the Philippines follows the foreign policy of the United States. Why? Well, we were occupied by Spain and made a colony for 400 years. But we were ceded to the Americans, and they occupied my country for 50 years. Finally, we had our independence after a bloody revolution and after several massacres. And these were the things that they just, I said, didn't even bother to apologize.
But at the same time, America helped the Philippines gain its independence in 1946 after Japan's occupation got away. So do you think, in a way, you should be grateful to them, or do you think that the West is using their allies?
Well, if you're an American in front of me, I would say now to you, you want me to thank you for occupying my country? I said, you lived on the fat of the land for 50 years. You gave us our independence. Well, I'm sorry. If the previous presidents would just kowtow and follow what American says, not me. Not me, because I know my history and I still have this hurt.
Was that hurt what made you call President Obama what you called him?
I do not like to be ordered. But you know, even in the matter of the purchase of arms, there was this, we were negotiating until a few days. And one senator stood up and said that the Philippines has a record of human rights violation. We will suspend the arms. Go good. It is never a crime to protect a race. It's a self-preservation thing. And you trivialize it with the prosecution and mentioning about the cutting of the assistance that we get.
So clearly you're leaning closer to an alliance more towards China and Russia rather than the U.S.
As of now, I just also told President Putin, you know, I just want to be friends, to show to the world that I am not limited to a few countries, that I have to interact with the rest of the world because we are a sovereign state. And we have to do business and to have diplomatic relations with everybody. And if there is good to it, then I thank God.
Well, since you mentioned business and cooperation, can I just find out what the status on the Defense Cooperation Agreement is between the Philippines and Russia right now?
I am not ready for military alliances because we have a treaty that was signed in the 50s. But I am ready to cooperate with my new friends, China and Russia, to make this world more peaceful. U.S. decided to cancel the procurement of weapons. And I said, I have a friend who has plenty. As a matter of fact, he's selling it. Buy one, take one. So I don't think you.
But polls in your country show that most of your citizens support an alliance with the U.S.
Yeah.
Still, so how are you planning to?
Well, because having been a colony for at least 50 years, it should not surprise you. It's ingrained in the genealogy of the Filipinos. But little by little, I've been telling them, I made this decision because, but if I think the Filipinos know the reason in their heart why. Because I have been very vocal and used the strongest terms when I said we are not a nation of beggars.
You appeared to soften your criticism when it comes to the U.S. after the U.S. presidential elections, after it became clear that Donald Trump would be the next president. Do you think that you could be friends with Donald Trump and maybe your relationship would change?
I'm not at liberty to make it public. But there are feelers now. Even retired generals. And they wrote me a long letter, and the last sentence is that there is no doubt in our minds that we can be great friends again and reset the whole thing. That was my sloganeering when I was campaigning, change.